And while Menendez has temporarily stepped down from his seat as chair of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, there are growing calls, as I've mentioned, by Democratic senators for him to resign. Here to talk more about that, Algene Sajery, former Democratic policy director of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. She also served as senior foreign policy and national security advisor to Maryland Senator Ben Cardin from 2012 to 2020. I appreciate your time on this. I mean, the evidence appears damning, but innocent until proven guilty. The senator says, follow the facts. I did nothing of what is being alleged against me. But we've seen this play out before in court with this exact senator, and he was cleared of charges of corruption. Are you among those who say he should step down? This is too much of a legal distraction?
I believe that the senator should step aside, at least during these court proceedings. He did last time, but he was allowed to stay on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee as an active member. And you've seen right now Senator Chris Murphy call for an investigation of the committee into the allegations against Senator Menendez and his actions on behalf of Egyptian intelligence officers and the Egyptian government. These are really serious allegations. When you look beyond the gold bars and the cash stuffed in jackets and the Mercedes-Benz, what you're looking at is a case involving serious national security implications. And so, yes, I think he should step aside, certainly should not be on the committee. This afternoon, while Senator Menendez is being arraigned, the Senate Democratic Caucus will hold its usual weekly caucus lunch. And I will assure you that it's not going to be business as usual. Senators will surely discuss whether Menendez should remain an active member of the committee, even if it's not chairman, and whether the committee should hold an investigation into these allegations.
Well, by all accounts, he is showing no sign of stepping down. He is continuing to defend himself. Do you see that changing as the pressure grows?
Senator Menendez is extremely brazen. He is extremely tough. He is a strong champion for his constituents. And I will say that I will never deny him that. But I think that even if 99 senators, as Ana Navarro said recently, even if 99 senators call for him to resign, I don't think he will resign. He will not step aside because he is able to, while he's in the committee, and in the Senate, he's able to raise money for his legal defense. He's able to raise money for his reelection. He doesn't have that leverage if he steps aside.
Right. And the question now being the senators who aren't asking him to resign, the backfire that they may face politically in standing on the sidelines. Algene Sajery, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.